Well, what do we have there but what was a very, very intense episode of House of the Dragon? And there's a lot I can will leave to the end to criticize because I have been critical of the show and I still have some criticisms that I feel last week's episode really started this episode off on a weaker foot. But this was a lot happening and full spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the episode, spoiler off the bat, Aemond Targaryen, I am proclaiming him Dragon Slayer. Because not only did he likely take out Rhaenys and her dragon, one of the biggest ones on Rhaenyra's side this episode, but he likely just took out Aegon's dragon, who we'll get into Aegon's whole arc this episode. And Aemond, again, we can criticize some things here and there, but he, to me, appears to be the most intelligent and smart person out of everybody in the show when it comes to, plans, when it comes to war, when it comes to just how things are supposed to, how things should work or not work. He is absolutely my favorite character of the series right now, and I think he is the most fit to rule right now just because I feel like he is smart and understanding. More so than Jace, more so than Rhaenyra, definitely more so than Aegon, more so than Alicent. He is the one that I feel actually understands and is a superior person, and people should just shut up and listen to him. Like, Aegon maybe should have done, the words of advice Alicent gave him earlier this episode. And let's talk off the things I liked. I think the whole sequence there at the end and the showing of Cole having the horror of the dragons being involved in the war now and what that really means, was very well done. I thought the actual score during the dragons, the fight sequence and stuff was really well done. Visually, I think it was very well done. And again, I definitely, will have thoughts on how it goes out and my worry for the show moving forward because I do think we lost with Rhaenys one of our most, I think, fleshed out best characters per se. And I do worry, especially on the side of the blacks, there isn't really anybody that has that, I think, well written writing in them to step up. Maybe Rhaenyra will, but I haven't liked Rhaenyra's writing this season at all. We'll have to see, but man, and her face when she knows she knows the minute that Vagar shows up with Aemond, she knows she's dead. And she knows her duty is to keep fighting as much as she can. And part of me thinks that pride there was she just needed to cut loose and try to get back to Dragonstone and try and save that dragon. Because now there's a full dragon down, and she lost her life. And probably one of the most bright individuals and advisors to Queen Rhaenyra is gone. And the actress who's been playing Rhaenys this whole season and last season has done an absolute upstanding, amazing job. And I just think that it is sad to see her go, much like it was sad to see Ned Stark go and other people. I just hope this show can have that writing to lift some of these character deaths. I don't know what's going to happen to Aegon either. Jumping into Aegon, seeing him kind of be ignored and understanding how he feels about that, definitely understood what happened and why he went that way. Do I think it was a little bit too fast forward a bit? Maybe a little bit. This is where I think the story being so fast and we're moving through things so fast in this first half is just bleh. Because between Christian Cole campaigning through multiple battles and multiple castles and really only one or two council seats where nobody listens to Aegon like that, I know they kind of had that with Otto in the beginning, but he just named Laris the Master of Secrets, and now but now even Laris, even though he just got the power, is not even listening to Aegon. And I just wish this was an arc that was maybe through a whole season per se. I can see this being the penultimate episode to a season. Maybe we could have gotten more of those interesting, dynamics with Cole and his march through the whole season instead of just speed run, gotta speed run. Just saying. And the fact that we had all these battles with Cole, and all these castles were just falling time after time after time, and Rhaenyra didn't get there until just the last second. When we saw she was able to get out and about perfectly fast and fine to King's Landing last time. Again, this is where that writing of people going in and out of the castles is beyond just was stupid last week. It was stupid. There's no defending it. The only defense people can say is, well, it cleared up the space of realizing there's no war, and it was a great scene to have them together. But, like, the first third of this episode, or first two-thirds of the episode for the black side is like, where's Rhaenyra? Where's Rhaenyra? Where's Rhaenyra? And I'm like, yeah, where is Rhaenyra? I mean, the show had it only take, like, 2 seconds last week, and multiple times when people go between Dragonstone and King's Landing. So, like, why is it this time it's like, man, she is taking a long time? And, of course, people will say, like, it's only been days, but, like, Kristen Cole is supposedly have taken out, like, 6, one castle, 6, like, land areas, and just, like, rolled through the whole entire side of the eastern side of the Crown Lands. It's, like, just bad writing. There's no defending it. Bad writing. And that's what happens when you want to speed run one part and you throw a wrench in another part, things don't line up. But that's my main complaint for the episode, though, is just the speedrunning nature, is how the time seems to pass differently for different people, and it doesn't match up that way. I think it hurts the characters. I think Jace is somebody on Rhaenyra's side that had more of a voice this week, but they haven't written him enough to earn that voice, so, speeding things up, that's what you have to do, I guess. But as far as the green side, I do like seeing Alicent's turn of kind of doubting Aegon, understanding, trying to look for like the history for Viserys to figure out where is Rhaenyra getting the fire, the Song of Fire and Ice, and we got that, I think, okay scene again. Every time they do this in this, it's like, I hate it because we already know what happens with Game of Thrones, so it's kind of like this pointless thing for me, but we did get the nice scene with Rhaenyra telling Jace about the Song of Fire and Ice right as the battle was leading up, and I thought that narration was done very well. I think Alicent, we're seeing her take kind of the Westerosi version of a pill day after sickness or day after a pill. She did it, doing it with herself and seeing kind of the struggles with that, and wanting to make sure she isn't going to be birthing any of Kristen Cole's kids. I think it's tough to see, but she puts herself in the same shoes as there, and in some ways it makes sense knowing her position and stuff compared to other people in power who willingly birth bastards, knowing that would cause issues. Rhaenyra is not good. But yeah, Daemon's part. I'm enjoying kind of this ghost, thing with Daemon and Harrenhal. I know it's nice to have it every episode, but this is something where I would almost have it be a solo episode. I wouldn't have even included it that much in this episode, and I would have maybe planned for this to be a whole one episode arc of just Daemon, because I think that's what whether it be Game of Thrones and other shows have done so well that I think House of Dragon is lacking, is they're trying to like puzzle piece a little bit of everything in every episode, but they're not giving enough people enough of the time period to make everything feel as in depth and as top level as it can. The Harrenhal stuff with Daemon is definitely working for me a bit, but man, I think if you just took Daemon away, because he's not doing much else when it comes to what's going on battle-wise and stuff, if you just set aside like Daemon out of this episode, maybe you add a little bit more character moments with Aegon in there, maybe you have Rhaenyra come quicker and you work on that relationship a little bit more, what's going on the black side, and maybe we see a little bit more of Cole's conquest and the Cole's planning there, even a little bit more of Aemond and stuff. I think this episode would have worked better leading into an episode where it's like, where was Daemon? And we go through a whole Daemon arc there, and we understand the ghost and everything he's having there, and how, Harrenhal is kind of messing with his head. That's how I would have done it as a showrunner, but I'm not the showrunner, so we got to do bits and pieces here and there and not build up characters well enough because we're speedrunning. But yeah, I will say this was the best episode of House of the Dragon period so far. Like, far none. I would give this a solid diamond rating. I've been very harsh with silvers lately, but I felt they really built Aemond up well. I understood Aegon's arc, even if it was speedrun a little bit. And I thought the sequence at the end was very powerful with Rhaenys, with Aemond, with Aegon, with Cole, seeing the horrors of the battle. I thought that delivered the point down very much there, though, that the war is in the dragon's hand, how much different it is overall. And even though I wish it would have, it wouldn't be chipped up into pieces, and I wish it was its own episode, I did very much enjoy the Daemon side of things, and that very much bleeds into my Diamond rating. And I do love Olivia Colk's Alicent kind of now having doubts about Aegon being king, but also realizing, hey, you can't go back on it now. Aegon has his supporters, Rhaenyra has her supporters, and it's a fight, and nobody's going to be able to back down from this. So I did very much enjoy this episode. Like I said, the flaws of the bad writing and the speed running things, and for not fleshing out characters enough, that really gets to me. Like when I look at the council we got a little bit of the Meister here today on the green side, so that's positive. But when I look at the council on the black side, who are these people that are talking up so much? Why should I care about them? They're just not written. They're just there to be loud opposition voices, so that, whether it's Jace, whether it's Rhaenys, whether it's Rhaenyra, whoever comes in and be like, why are you guys saying that? You should be, I'm gonna put my authority on you. I could not tell you who those characters were, and I would trouble any average casual person in the show. Tell me who those characters are. That's what I mean by this show has bad writing. It's not building out any of its characters, even part of the Green Council a bit. You have the Lannister on there, and he got kind of built up in season 1, but he's kind of fluctuating around, doing nothing. I would love to hear some of these lords that got invaded by Christian Cole, what their thought process is throughout the episode, going on and stuff. Because when you have that moment of, like, Christian Cole beheading somebody who was loyal to Rhaenyra, it has no real effort for me, because I don't know who that fucking person is, because you don't write anything. He's just there for one scene. It's just bad. I wish they could build things up more, build characters up more, but it's not. And that's just going to be my issue with the show. I'm yelling a lot for an episode that I loved. I just can't take little things like that and people telling me I'm stupid and wrong for it. I'm like, why are we excusing bad writing? Either way, pure Diamond. I'm Team Aemond, rightful king of the Seven Kingdoms. In my opinion, the best one is an option. And yeah, we'll see you next week to see what the aftermath of this is. Rest in peace, Rhaenys.